What's up, y'all? Eric Mulger here with Code Red Conversation. Now, there's been a lot of debate on exactly what Black Lives Matter actually stands for. And do they actually care about violence, urban violence, and how deeply or how much do they truly care about Black lives? Well, I decided to let them speak for themselves.
Until Black people are free,
no one is fully free.
Because the issues that affect Black people the most affect everyone.
Everyone.
The issues that affect Black people the most affect everyone. I'm with you on that. Everyone's affected when issues in the United States become overwhelmingly prevalent in a specific community or in any community for that matter. So I'm in agreement so far.
Can you imagine an America with no police brutality?
Oh, I would love it. No police brutality. True and actual police brutality. If true and actual police brutality, not allegations, but actual cases where officers are abusing their power was gone, I would love it. And I'm sure every reasonable citizen would love it. But one of the ones who are impacted the most when it comes to police brutality are the good cops, because unfortunately they bear the reputation in many cases of the bad acts of other officers. So most cops that I know, the vast majority of cops that I know, would love to see no police brutality, love to see all the bad cops gone.
Mass shooting, gun violence.
Mass shooting and gun violence. That's the world that they're talking about. I'm not going to show this whole video because it goes into the other aspects of their political stance, and we all know them. Basically, a lot of democratic politics, or basically what you're going to hear, institutional racism, the typical things that you hear from Black Lives Matter. But right here you heard about no gun violence and no mass shootings. Someone tell me, and this is a rhetorical question, but comment down below actually. Comment down below. Someone tell me the areas that are most dangerous for Black folks. What kills us the most every year? Now, abortion is number one, but after that, it is homicides. Homicides kill more Black people than anything else. And what makes that even worse is that the vast majority of those killing Black folks are other Black folks. And I already know where you're going. You're going to say, proximity is the primary cause of Black on Black violence because you have the same issue in predominantly white communities. Last year alone, there were over 7,000 murders. And the vast majority, approximately 90% of those, are conducted or committed by other Black people. Please stop trying to conflate the concept of proximity with the overwhelming number of Black homicides committed by other Black people. It is a weak argument, and when you really try to dig into it and examine it, you realize how foolish that sounds. You're talking about 6% to 13% of the population. I would even go further to say a fraction of that population who are responsible for more than half of all murders that take place in our country every single year. This isn't an anomaly that happens every now and then. This is consistent. But yet at the same time, you had Don Lemon arguing with Terry Crews just a few days ago, saying that Black Lives Matter doesn't care, or their main focus is on police brutality and racism.
Black people need to hold other Black people accountable. I said this the same thing. This is the Black America's version of the Me Too movement.
The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in communities, including, Black communities, then start that movement with that name. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about.
But I just played their own words. Am I missing something, y'all? Am I missing something, y'all? Let me know down below. Let me know in the comments. Did I miss something or was I on point? Let's play it one more time just to make sure.
Can you imagine an America with no police brutality, without mass shootings
and gun violence? It's time to vote for an America where our lives are valued and protected.
Can you imagine an America where oppression and fear are dissolved?
Where we are whole and healed.
Mass shootings, gun violence. I'm hearing the same thing. I thought maybe I need a little Q-tip. I just took a shower, just took a bath. I thought I was good. I thought I was all cleaned up. The reality is, folks, Black Lives Matter is just a political tool. That's all they are. Look where all the money goes. We need cops in our communities to save lives, to protect lives. That's what we need. Let me back up even further. When we look at mass shootings, now the typical mantra you'll hear is that the vast majority of mass shooters, active shooters, are white males. But if you add in drive-by shootings that take place in the inner city, that whole concept flips on its head. You'll see that the majority of the offenders are black folks. It's real. I'll put some of the links down below to demonstrate that. I'm not just making that up off the top of my head. It's the reality of what's going on, folks. I really want to make y'all think of who you're supporting and why you're supporting them. Black Lives Matter does not care about black folks. Or they only seem to care about black people if there's a white person who does the harm. They don't care about the facts of the case. If they see a white person on the other end, they go screaming, "Boy who cried wolf." In the meantime, cops are pulling back in many black communities, and more black people are dying as a result of their foolish ideas and principles and concepts coming to fruition.
This red light, just before the light turns green, this SUV pulls up alongside the sedan, and then this happens.
Struck 7 times. All of this seen in this exclusive surveillance video obtained by Eyewitness News.
The surveillance video is heartbreaking to watch. Early Sunday evening, 29-year-old Anthony Robinson of East New York, Brooklyn, was walking with his 6-year-old daughter in the Bronx. The little girl watching as a car pulls up beside them and someone fatally shoots her father in the chest. Blocks away on East 171st Street, a pair of gunmen opened fire on 3 people entering an apartment. 2 of the men were killed.
So think about this before you decide to write a check or post Black Lives Matter. Think about what all is entailed in that concept. You can care about black lives without supporting Black Lives Matter. In the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation.